All right, Nick, let's talk about one of the most exciting teams in college football now. They've gotten a complete makeover from the top down, whether that was through the transfer portal, recruiting, or hiring all new coaches. Nick, the Wisconsin Badgers are forever changed this season. This is going to be an exciting team to watch, and I think the players are maybe even more excited to play for this new team than we are to watch them.
Yeah, Myson, you've got an interesting report that details how exciting they're going to be next season, how excited the players are about some of these big changes. But before we get into that, Badgers fans, we want to hear from you guys, as always, in the comments section below. A lot of new additions to this football team. Mize alluded to it, whether it's recruits, transfer portal guys, obviously guys in the coaching staff as well. Give us the one move, though, that the Badgers made that now that spring ball is upon us, that you're really looking forward to see how it shapes up. Whether it's a recruit, whether it's a transfer, whether it's a guy who was maybe buried on the depth chart last year, there's a real strong chance to shine in spring ball. Give us one move, addition, otherwise, whatever it may be, that the Badgers have made that you're really excited to see how it works out for them in spring practice and going into the fall as well, of course. But all right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest out of Wisconsin?
Yeah, Nick. We all know back in December that Wisconsin made a huge move. Obviously, the first huge move was hiring Luke Fickell. I think it's a great hire. I think he's going to be a great coach. But they go out and decide to change Wisconsin's traditional running style offense completely and go out and get air raid offensive coordinator Phil Longo, bring him into the fold. And, what Wisconsin fans are going crazy. Air raid passing attack, up-tempo system. There's no more fullbacks. I don't know what's going on anymore. And then they go out, they hit the transfer portal hard. They get all kinds of crazy talent. Tanner Mordecai comes in. Receivers like Bryson Green, CJ Williams come in. This offense, this whole team looks completely different. And the players are pumped up, Nick. And per The Athletic, here's the article, Nick. It says, nobody's interest was more piqued by the hiring of Longo than that of the players, Nick. They have been in this Wisconsin's pro-style scheme for decades. This departure from this scheme to this more up-tempo, air raid offense, everybody is exciting. Badgers running back Ches Malusi, I believe that's how you say it. So he said it's completely different. I think people are going to be in a treat this year for sure. Luke Fickell came out and said you can sense and see and feel more energy from everybody. And he said that's what he's been the most impressed about, just changing it, just changing the offense. Everybody has been very excited. And the other thing is the players are most excited, Nick, about not having to huddle up anymore. They're getting the plays called in from the sidelines now. They could run that more up-tempo offense now. I think it's going to be a really big move for Wisconsin. And I think the Badgers are going to be very fun to watch this season.
Yeah, Miles, I think one of the things, whether it's in football or in life, that everybody can test to, sometimes you just need to change, whether it's your day-to-day operation, your strategy, right? Well, you see businesses all the time, they get stagnant, they get in the rut. So what do? They change up the work schedule, they change up the hours, they change up the dress code, whatever it may be. Anyone who works in corporate America understands sometimes you just get in the rut, you get stagnant, you get in the rhythm. And while you can be very talented and successful, have a great team, sometimes you just get stuck, right? And so sometimes what you need is a jolt, a jump start. You can get that through a big change. And that's exactly what the Badgers football program has done. Look, they've been incredibly successful for decades running this pro style offense, this power scheme. And it's been one of the more interesting teams to watch, in my opinion. I'm a former offensive lineman in college. I love this kind of scheme. I love the way they played. But to be totally honest, if you look at the Badgers over the last few years, their trajectory isn't going up. They're kind of plateauing, maybe even declining a little bit. They've had some issues in the recruiting department. This is the exact kind of jump start they've been looking for. And the fact that the players are coming out so much and saying this, because here's one thing to remember, Miles. I played a no-huddle offense at a period of time in college. Practice sucks in a no-huddle offense. I mean, it is absolutely exhausting. People talk about, it's fun because it's, high speed. You get up to the line of scrimmage, you're running the offense quickly and all that kind of thing. That means you're not getting a break, right? You're darn tired for 3 hours at practice. It is literally the worst thing in the world in terms of being a player going through those kind of practices. But the fact that the players are that excited for it anyway and enjoy it so far anyway is a sign that this is the kind of jolt this program needed. And credit to Fickell and Longo and frankly the athletic department for identifying they were in a rut and doing everything they can to address it.
It's interesting you say that, Nick, because none other than Badgers offensive lineman Tanner Bortolini acknowledged the pace of play is going to be the biggest change for the offensive line group. He said they are used to utilizing every single one of those 40 seconds that you get between plays, huddling up, lining up. It's like a little break in between each play. Oh, yeah. So he said getting lined up at like the 20-second mark and running. He's gonna be like, for him, he said running a 2-minute drill the entire game. He said his conditioning has been crazy. He's mentally used to getting this now. And just he is excited for the challenge, I think is how he best worded it. And it's going to take a little while to adjust, but he thinks he will adapt fine and that this offense is going to be better off for it.
So let's give a little credit to Fickle and the AD and frankly the former staff as well. It seems like all of these guys are fully bought in very quickly, right? Which means is they have quality guys, just good dudes on this football team. They got this brand new scheme, and usually when you have some sort of brand new scheme, there usually is more friction, right? There's more concerns. Sometimes the first year the coaches kind of like have to half implement it just to get people to on board with some of it. Most people aren't familiar or really comfortable with, I should say, a drastic change. To a man, Mize, in this report, every single Badger is excited for it. They're looking to embrace the challenge. And that's a sign as well. Not only is this a good scheme change for the Badgers, but a credit, they got a lot of good dudes on this roster that want to compete and win. And hearing this report, Mize, I think the future is even brighter than we thought for this Badgers football program going into 2023 and beyond.